I don't know. Man, this don't feel like a regular deal. LeBron's voice was calm, but the silence that followed hit louder than any buzzer beater he'd ever made. The room around him, dim and still smelling faintly of sweat and fresh sneakers, went quiet. His crew, Maverick, Randy, Rich, exchanged a glance. The kind of glance that said, something's off, or something's big. The man across from them didn't flinch. Black hoodie, slim tablet in his hand, Amazon logo on the sleeve, but no script in sight. He wasn't a salesman. He wasn't pitching sneakers or water bottles. His eyes had a different weight. We're not asking you to sell, the rep finally said, placing the tablet flat on the table. We're asking you to show. LeBron leaned forward. His elbow creaked on the wooden table, tape still wrapped around his fingers from the game hours earlier. Show what? Everything. One word. But it didn't feel vague. It felt too big. The rep tapped play on the tablet. A rough cut played. No music, no polish. A boy on a cracked court, dribbling alone. No brand in sight. Just sneakers, a rim, and silence. Then LeBron's voice, older, present, reflective. The future doesn't start when you're ready. It starts when you move. Nobody said anything for a while. Even Maverick leaned back, arms folded, eyes locked on the screen like he was watching a career highlight instead of a proposal. This ain't an ad, LeBron said slowly. No, the rep replied. It's a statement. You're not just promoting Prime Day. You're Prime Day. Not for discounts, for decisions. LeBron ran a hand over his face, rubbed the back of his neck. He had heard pitches his whole life. Millions of dollars tied up in pretty slideshows. But this felt like someone had been watching him when no one else was. Like they'd heard the quiet between cheers. And you want me to what? Just be me. Raw. Unscripted. Vulnerable. The world doesn't want polished. They want truth. We're not putting you in a studio. No green screen. No fake reactions. We want the Akron court. The real moments. The things nobody's seen. LeBron's eyes locked on the final frame of the video. The cracked court, empty now, but echoing with something more permanent than applause. He didn't speak right away. He didn't have to. His crew waited. Not one of them interrupted. Not because they agreed, but because they knew, deep down, LeBron was already deciding. He looked up, gaze sharp, steady. Let's bet on now. The rep nodded once and stood, like the meeting had ended the moment LeBron said that. Maybe it had. As the door closed behind him, Maverick leaned in. You really gonna show all that? LeBron didn't blink. Yeah, the world's been watching the player. Maybe it's time they saw the man. And just like that, the campaign wasn't about Prime Day anymore. You want me to go back there? Where it all started? LeBron's voice broke the quiet of the SUV. He wasn't asking the rep. He was asking himself. The man in the passenger seat didn't turn around. Just said, this is the first scene. We're building Prime Day from your past. No camera crew. No lights. Just the sound of the tires hitting familiar roads. The SUV pulled up to the corner of Maple and Lane. LeBron stared out the window. There it was. The court. Cracked. Faded. One net missing. The other hanging like a tired promise. Fences rusted at the bottom. The paint barely visible. And yet, somehow it still breathed. LeBron stepped out. His footsteps weren't heavy, but each one sounded like history. I haven't been here in years, he muttered, more to himself than anyone else. The rep stayed behind, gave him space. LeBron walked to the center, looked around. His chest rose slow, not dramatic, controlled. But his eyes, they were loud. He dribbled once. The ball hit uneven concrete and kicked to the left. He didn't chase it, just stood there, silent. This wasn't a memory. It was a wound he never let scar. He looked to the left side of the court. That's where his mother once sat on a crate, watching him shoot through dusk until her second job shift started. He used to pretend every shot fed them both. He looked to the fence, the one where a boy once laughed at his form. That same boy clapped for him at the NBA draft. He stepped back to the top of the key, bent slightly, let the moment hold him. That's when he noticed him. A boy, maybe 10, leaning on the outside fence. Hoodie on, backpack half open, watching with wide, wordless eyes. LeBron walked over. Slow. No smile, no pose. Just presence. The boy didn't run, didn't pull out a phone, just stared. LeBron looked him straight in the eye and said 7 quiet words. "This court made me. Don't forget that." The boy blinked once, nodded like he understood, even if he didn't fully. Not yet. LeBron turned and walked back toward the car. The rep was standing now, tablet in hand, but he didn't press play. He didn't need to. LeBron spoke before the rep could. "Don't bring cameras here." The rep looked confused. "But this is the realest part." LeBron shook his head. "Exactly. Some moments deserve to stay untouched." The rep didn't argue, just nodded. Back inside the SUV, LeBron stared out the window as the court faded behind him. "You sure the world's ready for this?" he asked softly, almost himself again. The rep didn't answer, because deep down they both knew this wasn't about the world being ready. This was about LeBron being willing. "You sure the world's ready for this?" LeBron asked as he stood in front of the lens, not waiting for a reply. The lights were low. No makeup chair. No brand rep this time. Just a camera in his own living room and the weight of everything he'd been holding back. He adjusted the mic clipped to his collar. His fingers trembled slightly, not from fear, but from truth finally asking to be let out. The crew behind the scenes was minimal. 2 people. No script. Just a loose outline. Talk about the journey. He stared into the camera. It stared back like a mirror. He began. "When I was 9, I didn't dream of the NBA. I dreamed of a warm bed and my mom not working 2 shifts. Ball wasn't an escape. It was a promise. No background music. No transitions. Just words. Heavy ones." He held up an old pair of sneakers, size way too small now. Laces frayed. Sole peeling. These are the first pair I wore that didn't hurt my feet. Someone donated them to me. I didn't know their name, but I prayed for them every night." He paused, swallowed hard, looked off camera for a second, then back. "I've worn every colorway since then. I've had my name on the box. But these," he lifted the shoe again, "these still fit my heart better than the ones made for me." From the hallway, soft footsteps. Bronny walked in, eyebrows raised. "You cry on camera?" LeBron cracked a smile. "You know how it is, man. Gotta let people know this ain't just about sneakers or sales." Bronny nodded, sat down on the armrest beside him. "They need to see it." LeBron looked at him for a beat, pride, love, hope, and then turned back to the camera. "I ain't perfect. I miss shots on the court and off it, but I've never stopped showing up. Never stopped learning. Never stopped believing that even now, I'm still becoming." His voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. It carried a fire that wasn't loud, but it burned. We always wait for the perfect moment, but maybe the moment's waiting for us. He let that breathe. No cuts, no edits. Then he stood, walked over, and shut the camera off himself. "No PR team?" Bronny asked, eyebrows raised. "Nope," LeBron replied, grabbing his phone. "I'm uploading this myself. You know they're gonna call you crazy." LeBron smiled. "They always do right before they call me real." And just like that, with one press of his thumb, the video went live. No hashtags, no captions, just him, raw, unfiltered, truth. And as the upload bar filled, so did something in his chest. Not fear, not doubt. "All right, lights off. I'll finish this myself." LeBron's voice echoed through the empty studio. Calm. Final. Everyone froze. The director lowered his headset. "Wait, what?" "Bron, this is the big one. The closing shot. We've got 3 angles ready, the set. I said I'll finish it myself." LeBron grabbed his bag, slung it over his shoulder, and walked past the cameras like they weren't even there. No one followed. They just watched. Silent. Because when LeBron moves like that, you don't chase. You wait. It was 2:14 a.m. when he unlocked the side door to Staples Center. Dark. Hollow. Still. He didn't need light. He knew every inch of that floor. Every echo. Every whisper from the rafters. This place didn't need to be decorated. It already knew what it meant. He walked to the center of the court, set his phone against a folded towel, tilted just right, facing him. Hit record. No filters. No mic. Just silence and hardwood. Then he stepped back, paused, and began. I was supposed to film this in a studio. Fancy lights, people yelling action behind the scenes. But that's not how any of this happened. His voice was quiet, but it filled the arena like a fourth-quarter prayer. I built my name in places where no one was watching. I bled on floors that never saw cameras. I grew under pressure, not lights. He turned to look up at the rafters. His banner hung there, silent, golden. But this isn't about what I've already done. This, he pointed to the lens, is about what I'm still becoming. He stepped closer to the phone, closer to us. I've had wins. I've had regrets. I bought homes and lost time. I've held trophies and missed birthdays. But through it all, I kept showing up, kept pushing. And he took a deep breath. Let the silence settle. You know, we wait for the perfect moment. To speak, to act, to dream. But maybe the moment's waiting on us. He stopped recording. One take. No replays. He stared at the black screen for a second. Not reviewing. Not checking angles. Just feeling. Then, with one swipe, he hit upload. No caption. No promo. Just truth. LeBron stood in the center of that empty court. Alone, but more complete than ever. No agents. No brand managers. No applause. Just hardwood, honesty, and the quiet hum of legacy being written in real time. As he walked out, phone in hand, he whispered to himself. Not for anyone to hear, not even the cameras. They're going to see me now, not the player, the fire. And with that, the door closed behind him. What came next wasn't just a campaign. It was a shift. Is this what you wanted? Or was it more? LeBron read the comment on his post out loud. It wasn't criticism. It was curiosity from a kid in Detroit with 5 likes on his page. And yet, those words hit harder than any endorsement email ever had. Because that was the question. What was this? The video had gone live 5 hours ago. No hashtag. No countdown. No polished transitions. Just LeBron in the middle of an empty arena, speaking like the lights never mattered. And now, the internet wasn't just reacting. It was erupting. Akron kids were stitching the clip of his cracked court memory, standing on that very same pavement, dribbling like they had something to prove. Single moms were reposting his words about sacrifice, adding their own silent nods in the captions. And dads? They weren't quoting stats. They were sharing stories. Missed birthdays, first steps, regrets, redemption. Twitter was filled with 3 words. I'm still becoming. Not a slogan, not a trend, a reminder. By the time Prime Day officially launched, the product links were secondary. People weren't logging in to shop. They were logging in to listen, to feel something, to believe. The marketing team hadn't prepared for this. They expected clicks. They got connection. In offices across the country, ad execs stared at the data. Sales were spiking, but not because of discounts. Because of honesty. People weren't buying just what was on sale. They were buying into the feeling of growth. Somewhere in the chaos, LeBron sat in a quiet room. Phone on silent. Notifications off. Just watching. Not himself, but everyone else. A girl in Chicago, standing in front of her broken hoop, whispering, "This court made me." Don't forget that. A father watching LeBron's video beside his son, mouthing, "We wait for the perfect moment." It wasn't about basketball anymore. It wasn't even about Prime Day. It was about presence. About showing up when it matters, even if no one claps. About speaking before you're ready. About honoring who you were, so the world can see who you are. Then, in the final official Prime Day video, posted quietly, no flashy music, no logos dancing across the screen. LeBron appeared, sitting calmly in front of a blank wall. No script, just one line. I'm not selling, I'm telling. And then it cut to black. That was the drop. That was the statement. Not a product, a pulse. For the first time in years, Prime Day didn't feel like a sale. It felt like a shift, a mirror. LeBron exhaled, not because the campaign was over, but because something inside him wasn't. He picked up his phone, opened the camera again.